the eagle I reach for. Foreclosure don't hold my evil in mind. Stop it, you don't want to box with the guard. Arms too short, no support when I pop shit. Toxic, figure 4 leg lock shit. Unbocking that shit you used to bring out the mop with. Criminal man, who do you roll with? P, original man, student enrollment. I'm Stone Holmes, give me a moment to clarity. Charity started home, hold my salary. Get money. Hey, tell me. I'm an aristocrat, ghetto diplomat, and I'm blessed with the gift of rap. Pay. Fed of the things that Sean say, I'm trying to get up, head of the game like Sade.
And it's a crime, but never exhaling it, no it's tailored with. You couldn't be on my radar with rapper than Elliot. I'm well equipped, no water wit, it's raw form. You were marked the gas on, no relation to Paul. Death flaps, try and run with Rem on the track, with Ren on your back. The hustle like Pookie with crack. I stay stoned, Medusa roll, a dramatic dose, but keep it matted close. That'll hit your chest like a Malatos.
Trey 8 in the Pell coat, kept it real and went wrong like David Chappelle jokes. P, black on black crime, sell crack, kill cats, and write mad rhymes. Disturber of Badlands, Stonehenge, well-known Roberto Duran fan. Sean be real strong, you frail, I can tell when you know that Johnny Gill song, motherfucker. J-Hard, cut that shit. S-E-A-N-P-R-I. Right, mad rhyme.
Rem on the track, with Ren on your back. The hustle like
has done me wrong.
Shut the fuck up and record the shit, man. I can't then beat the shit out of you, man. Let's go.
Upper echelon, top rate, 10 minutes for up to sketch a song. Weapons gone, shoot the shit out of do-gooder who keep their nose clean. We don't fuck with hood boogers. Masterpiece, theater. We got the best pull the skit in here. Jimmy crack corn, nigga, I don't care. The semi smack your dome, Holmes, I don't care. Minding my biz, my daughter, my nine in my way, strolling the park. Muggies catch a slug in their heart. Food for thought, y'all niggas chug a lug on his dart. For the slug, put the gun in your claws. P. Hate McCoy on the record, the beats. I shake your boy, leave you stretching the street. The best rapper in the game. Petty crime rhyme, smack a rapper for his chain.
always live and I'm it's a rude awakening. Nobody say
another banger exclusive. Come on, let's move. Come on, let's move.
always live and I'm it's a rude awakening. Nobody say
another banger exclusive. Come on, let's move. Come on, let's move.
Yo, the second verse better than the first. That don't mean that the first verse is the worst. It just mean that I'm better than everybody on the entire earth. Root 8, your food ape, surf and turf. I smack rappers and shoot haters. Luca Brasi style, wild fish in the newspaper. I'm eating sushi in Moscow. Niggas wanting my autograph, I'm looking like knocked down. Big figure, I'm sorta yelling. Backstage they serve fried chicken and watermelon. Ready to Kimbo Jones, thinking these crackers fucked up like Jim Crow law. Racist crackers, running the gun store and have a race with ratchets. I grip the 4 squeeze, 2 in your face, bitch, Victor Ortiz.
Tremble at the thought of what I've become. That sorry, proud image in puddles leaves me crying rivers. These tender words are muted by the stench of life long before they could ever reach your ears. You relate to mere echoes of what never stops but in my mind. Entrails of truth left to scatter at the feet of humanity. Plain sight leaves sour taste in this parched mouth. Remain stricken with doubt as I exchange pounds with those who remind me what I was and confine me to chains with my blood. wonder if I will ever shake this feeling. Warm, grotesque physical whose voice provokes wonderment. Smooth, violent light briefly eases the horrid sounds from belly of mechanical beasts. And that itself is extinguished as will be my voice, I suppose. From the silence arose a wail of freedom through violence. Am I permitted to vent thoughts recited a million times before? Fluid drench, I use drop onto middle America. Same concerns as my youth for blood, and yet I have to sit alone. The odd loud screech which may have startled a few from this middle poor Americana dream. The rest only to sleep. My speech the soundtrack to their nightmares. Moonlight once again burns my image once again a million times into a million minds through crust-caked eyes who only pray to die once again. To my sickness, vivid view of nothing that was ever here. Witness the subtle shifting of troubled souls towards a new mark in this wet sand. Enjoy the bland, mundane circumstance that led us to this staring match. Breathe deep within my own collapse.
Alien drug tester, conquer the oppressor. Chester, his daughter, filling with nigga scripture, drowning in Farrakhan while daddy hail Hitler. Infect your mental state like pig. God hunting for prey, make bald heads grow back wigs. Blast my chest cavity, I won't die, cause I'm heartless, my spirit haunts your third eye. Get lifted to my place in heaven. Reverend selling crack initiates his body swelling. Master the dark side to combat unrighteous. Keep the pace until life ignites us. Underground headquarters for torches for black that still act like monkeys on porches. You can die if you fuck with the true man's fortress, living in the sun as it scorches.
I hear the ghetto bass blast, shells ring like bells. The almighty buck reigns supreme. Hear it yell and duck. Oh shit, you're stuck. Black bags and trucks, that's blood and guts. With a black cloak, the reaper creeps 24/7 days a week. Plasma paved streets. Straight up pecking and glocking. Nanning and 45 end up in the missile and shoot. Taking loot and boots. Now I need a heater. People are meaner. Plus my pockets are getting greener from making cables. Try to whoop me in the drive-thru. P-preview, cock the hammer and go through you. Not to mention the witches, Babylon bitches, Lucifer snitches. Wicked cops watch and raid the spot. Kill the trick, dump her in the ditch. Take cash and dope, held by government base. For redistribution, now tell me TA to the mo. Who be on that evil shit? Street sweeps for evil fleets. Bringing the wicked massive grief, metamo. Annihilate the fake, blow up your fucking Stargate with no ways to translate or transmit information, stolen equations, manipulated mind masturbations.
Inspired to connect wires, starting countdowns on bombs, crippling empires. Built up Vietnam hostility makes up my body chemistry. Intense misery, grenade burst, strike the entire earth when dispersed. Anticipate rebirth. Go back to the essence, rest a second. Born with blessings, more equipped for life's lessons. My phone might be tapped, hold off on the kidnap. On that kid who frontin' black. Split up, I'll be in touch when shit simmers. Angel with the axe, make sure demons remember.
Bullet written skull, caps, coats, and jeans. Pray for a grave when the lead blaze. Frank a dangerous grave, shot from alleyways. Place to be vested, walking through hell. Smell of death on the brother's breath. As he steps closer, scoping my goods. It's do or die. He said, break your blood, was my reply. Before he finished, lead was in him. Scooped his missile, let a gasper. The hit, swift, brutal, and graceless. No remorse or regret, fuck him and fuck him. Coming for me and mine, satanic ass swine. Sent you to meet Jamaica Lucifer. Wall streets like an intellectual savage. Cities filled with mayhem and malice. So I'm more to kill a gallus. Whether rocket the cable or strolling the avenue. Voodoo childs equipped for the evil that men do. It's taboo when fucking with rubber curses and hex makes you suffer 10 levels of torture. Angels holding heat, seeking the thought of the beast. Street sweeps for evil fleets. Bringing the wicked man some grief. Yo! Fuck to all the wicked. No rest. 7-6. Yeah, take them down. Are you ready for Illuminati?
I hope they're ready for war, stomach the gore, settle the score with rhyme galore.
Yeah, blessings. Welcome to The Machine Lies, where we talk about the lies of the machine on the machine that lies. Now, I know you're seeing a lot of channels out there that are promoting lots of ideas, right? In terms of technology, spiritualism, right? Taking their own revisionist views on world history, right? And providing lots of analysis, right? On, for example, accelerationism, right? And there's a lot of developments within cyber culture, right? And sort of there's obviously a concerted movement towards the global scheme, right? Whether it be in world politics or any of these different situations, right? But our main contention here, right, is obviously that what's been driving a lot of the events, right, is the world technological system. Okay, so when we're looking at the world technological system, right, and we're looking at where, what ideas comprise the world technological system, right, that's the main impetus for, where we're at, right? So why do we need to figure out what's going on, right? Right? Why contend with any of the information that's out there? Right? Well, it seems like many of the people or many of the channels or stations, if you will, right, they seem to have taken this concept of the world technological system, right, and its main precursor, right, in the form of techno-liberalism. They seem to have taken it all for granted. Right? It seems like they missed the main plot, right? They missed the main objective factor of power. They missed the main ideological basis, right? For, right, not only technological progress, but the whole kit and caboodle, if you will, right? The world technological system in its entirety, right? It seems like they missed the plot, right? Because there seems to be zero critiques, right? Because we see lots of different channels, right? That, as I said, they talk about technology, they talk about accelerationism, they talk about spiritualism, they talk about cyber culture. None of them offer a critique of the world technological system. It's really strange, right? Because obviously we've provided several critiques that aren't even coming from us, right? We provided several critiques that seem to be some of them are centuries old, right? Some of them are a few decades old, right? And seem to be extremely perceptive, extremely insightful in pointing out the main issues, right? But it seems like not many people, right? See, they think that there's something driving the world system, which is this technocracy, right? And this is false in many different ways, right? Because the people who are sort of in charge of the system, right? They are themselves conditioned by those various technological means that they employ, right? So we're talking about the rule of experts, okay, and the compartmentalization of knowledge, right? Now, obviously, if you have this global system, right? You have two main issues that we've presented on this show, right? And I'll sort of present these sort of tweets. I sent a bunch of tweets recently, so because I mainly talked about this issue last time on the show. Okay, let me see if I could zoom into this. So, then I'll share the screen here from my Twitter, right? And I'll present you guys what I think the main problem is, right? Okay, let me get rid of that. Let me get rid of these two screens here. And then maybe that. Okay, there it is. There it is, right? So here's my Twitter, right? So I tweeted these things out recently, right? Obviously nobody responded. I'm not a certified member of the Twitter. I just made an account several years ago, right? So I'm not a verified account, right? So we don't play this game, verify, monetize, right? These are stupid games these people are playing, right? Selling out their entire work for fucking peanuts in a poker game, right? Where they can just be having a conversation, right? Okay, because these are public conversations. Okay. So make no mistake of it. These are not curated conversations that are special. It's like having a conversation on a street corner. Right now, the people that want to be part of the YouTube business, right? Okay, I pay no respect to that entire thing, right? If you're monetized, if you're making money through this, I don't care one bit, right? Right, we definitely aren't trying to, bring people in here, right? We don't care about that, right? I don't care about monetizing the channel, right? Don't care about establishing groups of people. The main point of this channel is to get people to basically log off, right? So we're not trying to develop a following. That's not the goal here, right? That's not okay. So I'm sorry if you thought there's some sort of greater point here, right? You're literally a tard, right? But yeah, the fact is here, let's check this out, right? This is a main thing I put down. The desacralization of nature and the desacralization of knowledge has led to the universalization of man and the universalization of technology, right? So I'll explain the first two parts of that, how the first two parts of that led to the second two parts of that, right? We have a guest here. Blessings, right? What's going on?
Give it to me, baby. No, just kidding. Keep going with your stuff.
Yeah. Welcome to the show. Yeah. Thank you for joining. So basically, the desacralization of nature, right? That could be brought about in the first phase, right? Basically, man and nature are seen one to one, right? Now, in the second stage, right, with the desacralization of knowledge, right, nature was not one to one with man, right? Man was a reflection, right? In the first phase, right, man is sort of a mirror of the cosmos itself, right? And of course, they developed this terminology. They developed the terminology of the cosmos. Remember, it was Pythagoras who came up with the term cosmos, right? Started using it, right? So this is a term that basically means nature, right? So when they moved on from nature and they said that there is something outside of nature, they removed God from nature, right? That's what I mean by the desacralization of nature, right? Nature entered into the realm of becoming, right? And as a fundamental result of that, man became more and more important, for example, right? Man preceded nature. Okay, and if you look at the prologue of John, man precedes nature in the order of creation, right? So first it was God created nature, right? And then down the line, he created man, right? But the prologue of John says, no. God created man first, then nature, right? He created nature through the second Adam, right? Which represents the logos, right? So this notion of the primordial man or the archetypal man led to the desacralization of nature. Now, the second step of the desacralization of knowledge, right? That then came through, right? This entire scheme, okay, where man was made the vicegerent of God on earth, right? So there you have a different cosmic order, right? Not divinities, okay, that are people throughout nature. Okay, whether it's like on Mount Olympus or whether it's some sort of spirit, right? But now you have a primordial man or the archetypal man, right? You go from the primordial man or the Adam Kadmon, right, to the archetypal man, right, to the universal man, right? So this idea of the universal man, okay, it finally leads to basically the desacralization of knowledge, right? So what I mean by that is that nature and knowledge have to basically not be sacred, right? For man to become the universal principle, right? And when man becomes a universal principle, as it says, right? So I obviously brought this forth in different stages, right? Where man and nature get first they're in relationship to each other, then there's God that sort of created nature but is outside of nature and creates man as like this sort of cosmic mirror, right? And then finally, right, you have the notion where the state replaces sort of God in a way, right? Okay, and you have the notion of man becoming his own God. Okay, which is basically a major conception in the universalization of man, right? Man sort of becomes his own God. Okay, and in the next stage, man sort of starts worshiping his own creations, which is indicative of the first stage. Okay, which is the formulation of the idol, anyways, right? So just as man formulated idols in preceding times, okay, that were a reflection of his own inner goals of deification, right? So now we create things that we start to worship, right? The slave gives birth to its master. Liberalism gave birth to its own executioner, right? And we think we're creating a world of freedoms, but we're creating a world of enslavement, right? Because we don't understand what creates, right? We don't own our own creations, right? And unless we purify them by some sort of spiritual aid and sort of purify our goals or whatever, right? Then they'll be sort of ruined or whatever, right? So so there's this 4-stage process that's really explained by the philosopher Rousseau that we've mentioned last time on the show, right? Which is that first man, right, finds you could either see nature as a creation of God, right? Or you could see it as nature is itself just sacred, right? Whatever, right? Either way, right? Nature is fundamentally connected to God, right? In the second stage, nature is part of the corruption of God in a way, right? So it enters into a stage of becoming. In the third stage, man sort of replaces this God. Thank you so much to Bob Smith for joining. I appreciate you. I'm in this next stage, right? Okay, replaces, right, God, right? In the second stage, it's necessary to have some sort of anthropomorphization of God, right? In order to give birth to the universalization of man. And the universalization of man is similarly necessary for the universalization of technique, right? You need the universal man in order to create the mass man, right? The mass man is like a hollow shell of the universal man, right? Okay, the mass man is like once man reduces nature to like numbers and math, right? The way like Galileo and Copernicus wanted to do, right? Then you can reduce man to math and numbers, right? So the universalization of man led to the universalization of technique, meaning when nature was reduced to numbers and math, then man can be reduced to numbers and math, right? Pretty simple, right? I'm trying to simplify this shit, right? I know some of it sounds complex, right? All right, so let me go to the second statement I've made here, right? It says, man went from finding nature people with divinities. Okay, I just literally just said this. I explained this, right? To taking God out of nature, to making man the fountain of creativity and the mirror of the cosmos. This led to man worshiping his own creations. Okay, so I just broke that down very succinctly, right? Okay, let's move to the next one. That's pretty much self-explanatory at this point. So I'm glad I wrote that. Okay, this is the last one I'm going to show you guys. And then I'll launch back up into my explanations here, right? Of how this came about in the historical schema, right? And thank you guys so much for joining. I appreciate you guys. It says, is nature against technology, right? And this is a major premise for the show. Is nature against technology, or is nature a creative force that balances the creative aspects of the machine? Right, the creative aspects of the machine, right? Okay, the machine, oh my god, I didn't even I typoed that, man. Fuck. Here, let me actually copy this because I don't think I can edit a tweet. Can I edit a tweet? Change view post. No, I can't edit it. Okay, I'll have to retweet this, man. See how this is all wrong? Here, hold on. Give me this. Let me retweet this. Let me fix this live.
That's me. That's me.
Okay, so let's check this out. So this is what I said. I said, is nature against technology, or is nature a creative force that balances the creative aspects of the machine? The machine is one body, right? I should say, right? That's what it should say, right? The machine is one body, right? To use one machine is to use them all. The machine is not bound by nationality, religion, or culture. Is that all it was? Here, hold on. Let me copy this again. Is that all it was? So anyways, that explains two major aspects of the problem. I'll explain in a minute, right? Oh yeah, that's it. Okay, so let me delete this. Delete this one. And let me post this one. That's correct. Okay, there we go. There we go. We came back with the correct one. So there you go. You bitch ass motherfuckers. Check this one out. This is the correct one. The machine is one body. That explains technical monism. To use one machine is to use them all. The second part explains technical universalism. The machine is not bound by nationality, religion, or culture. Right? Actually, it is the main thing that assimilates all of those forms. Those used to be the things which socialize man. Right? Now, man is being socialized by parasitic techniques of organization, which then parasitize on things like nationality, religion, or culture, right? So those things are no longer driving human society. And that is the key aspect of this critique, okay?
I tried to tell these guys.
The death of liberalism, the death of capitalism, the death of individualism, the dialectic between individualism and collectivism that led to this dialectic between massification on the one end and atomization on the other end, right? Because we've become isolated and interconnected, right? So this is part and parcel of the issues that we are facing. And yeah, so yeah, that explains a key aspect of the issue, of the problem, right? Now, in terms of technical monism and technical universalism, right? These are two features of the issue, right? And it means that it's the total destruction of traditions, of culture, of individuality, of religion, of spirituality, right? And this is because of the total loss of traditions, the total loss of the sacred due to the removal of the world of the sacred from the entire dimension of human knowledge. And then due to the compartmentalization of said knowledge into various forms that don't interrelate, don't interconnect, right? And this entire process, the compartmentalization of knowledge has led to the loss of traditions, right? It's because it thrives on universalism, right? Okay, one of the main goals of technique is the creation of the mass man, right? In order to convince man that he can be reduced to numbers and figures, you have to convince people that everybody's the same everywhere. Right? So that's why universalism is necessary to create the mass man, which is a hollow shell of the universal man. Right? And the universal man is a hollow shell of the archetypal or the primordial man. Right? Because the universal man represents um sort of borrowing from the archetypal man, right? And
Cocaine cowboy.
the archetypal man, right? Borrowing from I mean leading to the notion of the universal man, right? Right, that's pretty easy, right? Because the primordial man, remember, is sort of like a intersex thing, right? Like Adam Kadmon is like neither male nor female, right? The same thing with Mithras or Phanes Protagonist. So it still represents man's natural limitations, in other words, right? Then it moves to something that goes to the heavenly man, right? Which represents sort of the goals and the origin of man's perfection and so on and so forth, right? It's something where man came together in perfection, but it's also drawn towards that, right? So it also represents a it also represents there's a lot of noise coming from there. It also represents a telos, right? So it doesn't just represent a beginning or a genesis, but it represents a telos in the end, right? So this is very important as well, right? And finally,
Stop.
right, and I gotta cut that out for a minute because that's too distracting. And I feel like I told that. So give me 1 second. Let me explain my thing. So in the final analysis, right, from the from the primordial man still connected to nature to the archetypal man, right? That's a heavenly being, right? Sort of a collectivization of the goals of man to the notion of the universal man. Okay, which sort of represents man in the state of nature, like a common everyman. Okay, or something like that, right? And then finally, you have the mass man. Okay, he's being driven by society. He's being informed by nature first and then society, right? So he's a product of all these natural forces in society, right? So he's a total product of nature that was in the state of becoming. He's no longer in this primordial sense. So now he can be driven by his own creations, right? Now he can be driven by his own creations. And I apologize for that, right? We let anybody up here. So just to let you guys know what's happening, anybody can join the show and come through and talk and stuff. But obviously within reason, we gotta have the disturbances to the minimum while I'm doing my sort of opening sort of thing here, even right. And I know a lot of people don't understand the topics of the show, right? And they're not really well versed, and they don't understand the relevance or importance of it, right? So that's pretty apparent. And we understand that not everybody's performing analysis about areas of philosophy or history or theology, or looking at the origin of certain political theories or ideologies, right? Like liberalism, or looking at the world technological system and offering critiques of it. We actually pointed out at the beginning of this that there's like not that many shows that are offering critiques of the world technological system in general, right? There's almost zero shows, right? Even though they're going to be putting chips in people and they're fucking around with people's genes, and they're already recording everything you're doing, and still you can't get people to actually offer critiques because they're good old-fashioned slaves, right? That will not critique things, right? They'll just accept whatever's going on around them, right? They have no fucking ability to think, right? They'll just accept whatever the experts say, right? They're rootless cosmopolitans, right? So they could move anywhere, right? They have no allegiance to their city or town or anything like that. So they have no fucking clue what's going on, right? Nor do they care to establish any type of village or community, right? They're literally, just pretty much doomed, right? But yeah, let's check this out. I appreciate you guys. Let's let this person back up. Blessings. Are you here? No, I think they tapped out. But yeah, if I see them, oh yeah, there she is. What's up?
Oh, hello. Sorry.
Hey, vibes, God Heart Guardian. What's up? Yeah, blessings. The U.S. Ape. What's going on, mate? Lizard Tree, I appreciate you. Yeah, we got the link out here. So you guys want to hop up here, have a conversation. That's up to you guys.
Where's
Now, I won't be here-
Cecil? Where's
Huh?
Cecil?
I don't know.
Cecil.
He did call in recently, so I don't know if you saw that. But yeah, we talked to Cecil recently. He called in a lot recently.
Less than a month ago?
Yeah, I believe less than a month ago. Yeah, he called in a lot recently, as I said. So he's called in.
Oh, he's a home slice. We gotta get him back. He's written on the wall. He's like, if you go into our restaurant, you can see his face engraved in the sideboard. So we gotta get
Yeah.
Cecil.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Wolfie, what's up, man? Blessings. I smoked good herb watching Neuro stream 1930s cartoons today. Yep. That's the best I could do today. Yeah, blessings to Denise. I appreciate you. A Neuro Jack for Shizzle. Namaste. I appreciate you, madam. Thank you so much for watching. Wolfie's here. Excommunicated. What's up, man? We got Bob Smith. What's going on?
That's
Going
me.
too far. Yeah, blessings. We got this Lizard Tree. I appreciate you. Alchemos. Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, man. Thanks. Alrighty.
I'm the king of the jungle, yo. I'm the VIP. I've reached the top and I can't be stopping. That's what's so bothering me. Ooh, I wanna be like you. I wanna talk like you, walk like you. That's true. So give me the man cub, and I'll stroll right into town. Give me the fire of mad desire. Oh, you just highlighted me? Sorry.
Woo! Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man.
It's gonna be live stream. Come on, I'm sorry. Sorry.
I don't know why. It sounded like 1950s or something. It sounded like good. Some jazz metals. Oh yeah. Let's get cooking now. Blast from the past. What the hell's going on? We having a good time. We're doing a good show, We got Glow Rogan in the chat. I think Nee's doing well, bringing noise from her phone. Very thoughtful. She didn't mean it. Yeah. It's okay. We can hide people, so it's cool, man. Thank you for your offerings, me. Yeah, me's chilling. The name of the channel is Subliminal Jihad. Yeah, I know that channel, by the way. Subliminal Jihad.
Jihad Unit.
Yeah, they got some weird stuff at Subliminal Jihad. I don't exactly entirely know what they're talking about yet, so I can't endorse or but
then who sent me that link? That better be your link if I'm subscribing to it. You're not
What?
Jihad Unit?
No, I'm not Jihad Unit. No.
Holy shit. They totally hijacked you then.
No,
I got
no.
a link.
No, they didn't hijack me. No, I'm Cyber Caliphate. I'm not Jihad Unit. I just say that. Yeah. So yeah,
there's a channel called Jihad Unit at this point.
Yeah. It's from a Silver Ring song. You know Silver Rings?
50 Cent.
No, Silver Rings is a rapper from the Wu-Tang Clan. He's the one who said it. I stole it from him, so that's not my original saying. So by any means, so they probably, it might be Silver Rings who made that channel. So I don't know, could be, but yeah. So yeah, I appreciate you guys. But
I
yeah,
have to F him in the B and say that.
Yeah, in a song he said we went from G Unit to Jihad Unit. So that's what he said in the song. So I thought that was funny. Yeah, he said it in a Wu-Tang song. So so that was pretty funny.
Oh, I thought that was an original.
No, it's not my original. No, that's not me. But yeah, why are some of these
You could
comments?
you could have easily come up with an original though.
I came up with some original. I came up with We Was Vikings. That's an original of mine. We Was Vikings. All right. That's an original of mine. I came up with some OG memes. Like, check this out, right? I came up with a meme, right? It's complexity breeds assimilation. Boom. All right. Complexity breeds assimilation. That's a meme I came up with. It's the opposite of simplicity is creativity, right? So I just invert it, right? I came up with several memes, right? I came up with like one-liners and shit. I'm gonna write a bunch of them in a book I'm writing. So yeah, there's a bunch of shit, but yeah, so yeah, I came up with a bunch of one-liners. Obviously, I came up with those one-liners you've seen on the Twitter, right? So I came up
Yeah.
with some
I
shit, but
I did see the Kings one. Vikings, we was a Vikings.
We Was
That was
Vikings.
you?
Yeah, people stole that. Yeah, people stole that too. Yeah. I'm a powerful memer. It is what it is. I'm a powerful memer. Meme magic. All right. But yeah. Yeah, we're hyper modern mimetic warriors and whatnot. So yeah, make of that what you will, right? But yeah, I appreciate you guys. So yeah, Leslie, I appreciate you.
You got someone out there who's really pulling in people. I was far away and one of your guys came into a stream. I was over at Xerxes stream. I don't even know if you know who that is. I was like in a community, like you know how there's communities in
I don't
a
know
pod
that.
and a pod. Dude, I was like 5 communities away and somebody came in and said, "Thank me later." Uh The Machine Lies is live right now. Thank me later. So I was like, what? I know that name. So I jump in. So one of your little tentacles came over to the tentacles that I was at. I was like I was like in a bigger stream, like far away, and I knew you because I know you. And then I was like, let me go check in and see what this guy's doing. That's why I popped over here. That wasn't you, was it? You don't got another name, do you? Somebody was out there putting you in other streams. Somebody did it. I don't know who it was.
I got a million haters. It's okay.
They just called my ass back here. You're like, oh shit, you didn't call in some new material. You got this dumb bitch.
No, put my name put my name wherever. I like it.
They were in Xerxes stream. Xerxes.
I don't know who that is, man.
It's somebody that's affiliated with an offshoot of Joe Rogan, an offshoot of I could like name like 10 names, but they're like a whole little network and it's way over there. And then I seen them say Machine Lies, and I'm like, I know Machine Lies. I'm gonna pop in right now. I should have remembered who the fuck it was too, so I could tell you who it was. Some guy came over there. I'm not kidding. I'm not joshing. Some guy came over there and was repping you, and I was like, I know this motherfucker. I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna go over there and bother him.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You should actually ask who that is because I'm kind of curious now who that was.
I don't know. Yeah, blessings to Marsha. I appreciate you. Fools and Tools, I appreciate you. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna play some music in a little bit, and then we'll move on to History of Transhumanism by Nick Bostrom. So that will basically comprise the rest of the stream. So I basically
you know what's crazy? It was none of these people that are in chat right now. It was somebody else.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, blessings. That would be me, Bob. I advertised you. Oh, nice. So Godheart. Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, so it is.
Jump in, Godheart, so we can see your faces.
Techno-humanism, I appreciate you. Techno-humanism, yeah, techno-humanism is to balance technocracy, right? It's like technocracy is basically built into the system, right? And that's because there's sort of a hierarchical mode to how the system progresses, right? Because like the electricians, right, get sort of taken over by the engineers, right? They combine
Wait, I
different
got a pressing question.
here, hold on a
The
second.
gods are asking me.
Here, hold on a second. Yeah, hold on a second. Let me finish my explanation, right? So they have like so they mix with different electrical equipment, right? So from electricians to engineers, there's a huge shift in terms of the complexity of the math that they're using, right? And then it shifts to the programmers. The programmers become more powerful than the engineers, right? So there's an ever telescoping link in terms of the hierarchical ordering of the information, right? But every time the abilities become more and more specialized as a result, right? So this is a key feature of the project, right? And so this view is and we got this different thing. So technocracy is built into the system, right? How does technical humanism manage that, right? Well, it sells people all sorts of human techniques as fixes, right? Techniques for amusement, right? Obviously, most forms of amusement in today are indistinguishable from propaganda, right? So check this out. I put this out. Yeah, the techniques of propaganda and the techniques of amusement have become indistinguishable from one another. Right. So this is a factor, right? But so the technical humanism is a bad fix on the technocracy, right? These are in a constant dialectic with each other, and you see this all the time, right? You see this that there's one side, right? That and I apologize to Bob Smith. I'm sorry, I was just in a middle of a sentence there, right? And I hate when people interrupt my sort of train of thought. That's going to be happening a lot more often, right? Because I simply have to get these ideas out more frequently, right? So please call in again, and I appreciate you guys calling in. But so let's move to some music. Okay, there they are. I appreciate it. Yeah, what was the question you had?
It was actually about how you wax your ass, because you probably.
Oh, we gotta get her out of here for that. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. This is a definite troll. But yeah, oh man, yeah, definitely my ass is very hairy, so it's no wax. So I'm not an expert on that, right? So I appreciate your time. But yeah, we can't be, actually, I didn't even set this to 18 plus, right? So children could be hearing this, right? So we can't have that type of rhetoric on the show, right? And I'm so glad I didn't interrupt my question with that, right? So I appreciate your time, but right, Bob needs ass waxing tips. Somebody said, eesh. So maybe she's got a hairy bum. I don't know. But definitely don't want to find out, right? Let's put it that way. But yeah, I appreciate her anyways. I'm sure her bum's not hairy. Let me, I'm sure she's just playing around. But yeah, you know what I mean? Let's just be very nice and kind to all the people that call in. And I appreciate the 23 people that are watching. Somebody said, well, some guys are into that sort of thing, right? Some guys are into the hairiness, right? So I don't know. So yeah, it's not for me to judge, all right? And I appreciate the people. I don't know if this is actually Avian. Is this really the homie? Oh yeah, this is the homie. Yeah, yeah. Welcome. Yeah, what's going on?
I'm doing well. What about you?
Yeah, blessings. Yeah,
Yeah,
how you
blessing.
doing?
I'm doing well. Yeah, I just got to decide on my avatar. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 and yeah, dude. S. Yeah, it just says S right now. So
It's
yeah.
just
Yeah, but we're gonna take a little musical break, and we'll be back in about 4 minutes while Buddha decides on his avatar, and then we'll be back with Nick Bostrom, History of Transhumanism, as I said. So I greatly appreciate you guys, and yeah, Bob's always kind of trolly, right? But I let her on anyways. Just we all need to enjoy ourselves, have a little entertainment sometimes, and I like having females call in and stuff. There's not enough female voices on the show, right? So I like hearing them and watching them. We did get a nice little musical thing from her. So yeah, man, I appreciate her. So yeah. Anyways, let's move to some music. We'll be back in a minute. And I greatly appreciate you guys. I hope you guys are having fun. And we're gonna be talking about history of transhumanism. Okay, a topic where my views sort of differ from a lot of people, right? But we've mentioned this main topic that once you reduce nature to math, then you can reduce humans to math, right? And the creation of the mass man is really due to the universalization of man. Right. And the universalization of man was necessary step in reducing nature to numbers and math, right? And from that we get this idea that man is part of that world of becoming, as they say, right? So we are exploring these conceptions, and obviously I only mentioned one aspect of the problem, the breakdown of the traditions, right? But of course, there's a huge other problem, right, which has to do with nature. And of course, I'll break down the whole concept of nature and being. We're going to be moving back to looking at the Eleatic thinkers and other concepts. But anyways, here's some music, and we'll be right back.
Do your visitation rights as Godfather analog, or reinvention of the secret weapon, eat the apple, Eve, and atom bomb. The meaning you're a two-stepper running backwards, leaping to the deep abyss, flashing thirsty teeth, reaching for a cash purse, wishing bone crack the rib. Crash the high horse on broken land of all hopelessness, and leave it as it is, dead and beat, feetless, sober wit and over with. Slowly lead them to the pit by hand, barbecue smoking, nosy kids dove into the Zosa mentality like pass around degrees as we approach the end.
The time is now, how did it even come to this? Run and get your lost-minded infant. Good written chapter when it's over, really I'm in control of what I thought you already knew. Climbing towards infinity with the ability to make the living arrangement come true. For instance, we claim to be innocent, you're polluting the mind misused.
Shallow is an open grave, empty promises to piss blood pumps through the heart with shards of glass and paper thin consciousness. Market to the mass land populace, it's on and popping at the mountaintop, ready for collapsing on a village local locksmith with guns cocked and automatic upgrade. Hell stops as rain of bullets on the long-awaited bombs drop. Countdown to 2012. Hell's crossfire sells itself without any low-grade demons help. Let's rock and roll, lock and load, stop, drop, and roll, and salute the liberty till it rocks.
Assemble Voltron, you got served inside scoop according to the venue. What's to happen to the world now? Making it till you remember our past life rescued. Reincarnated, hyper-extended peace, love ballads. Dance revolution, two-step in the name of organizing malice.
Yo, what's the world coming to?
The satellites, despite us, monitored to get along.
What happened to actual fact?
They broke it down in fractions in this song.
Are they man and machine now?
Disassemble, readjust with your cyborgs formed at the spleen.
How about a hand for Mars and friends, making a transformation in the stars out the favorite starving artists, blistering fingertips and random thought, mutated, manufactured, and mass marketed, hell of a plan for a bunch of narcissists scheming grandiloquently. So fuck it, run with the pack, Save yourselves and let your savior pick up the slack. Self-mutilation isn't only a once-a-week ritual. It's a necessity, glam and fat. Guide your people blindfolded through the gauntlet with their hands tied behind their back and let them make their own decisions, falling off the
Rare moments I've compared to the end of the world. We've learned more than we asked for. Can't complain, it helps me maintain my sense of emotion to the brain. Sentiment and action to the uses aligned and arranged. Still I was going on, slingshot bypassing the obvious change.
Cause temporary satisfaction floats through the brains of men. Like if it ever really happened, then it all just came and went. And sin's the deadliest attraction. The devil she plays to win, make reality what you imagine. And when thoughts where it all begins. And I'm completely and utterly unimpressed by your animation. It's can't amazing, it couldn't caress a woman's desperation of a young man's gun damnation. Old soul that demolished your road home, no safe haven, a safe way out. Earthquake and no explosive, pole vault into thin air, you catapulted from your face.
Hello, my fair derivative comrade. Sadly, the mistakes I made stayed. Wouldn't trade anything in the world to replace my alpha and omega mishad. Along with my feelings towards life, forget that. Hate it, but you gotta love it. I got some energy moving along despite measurements of the mishaps.
Yo, what's the world coming to?
No satellites despite us monitored to get along.
What happened to actual
They broke it down in fractions in this song.
Are they man or machine now?
Disassemble, readjust, we're just cyborgs formed at the spleen. Projectiles, reptiles, and all sorts of things that go bump in the nightmare. John Mayer compared to rock and roll. Down to the riverbanks, closed down. Tomorrow we'll be open, moping around looking for something to get into. Yes, so you would have believed missing. I seen you in person. Press the key. Houdini friends, how many of us actually even have? Not that you're the one. Just because you're planning to make it, opportunity strikes and the leeches were planning to take it. For the sake of balance, I felt to entice revenues. Give it a chance. I keep moving before crawling. Whispers distance itself. Nature applies ocean on the self seashore. Were you sure you actually wanted more of my help? I felt what it felt like to hurt. Ewoks are just mechanized tumbleweeds. Not to sound absurd, but someone, something, sometime words sound different.
Yo, what's the world coming to?
No satellites despite us monitored to get along.
What happened to actual
They broke it down in fractions in this song.
Are they man or machine now?
Disassemble, readjust, we're just cyborgs formed at the spleen.
All right. Now I'm going to share this history of transhumanism, and let's check this out here. And of course, this is the key line that I want to focus on here for a second, right? And of course, we looked at this last time, right? It literally says in this article, which is supposed to be a defense of the notion of transhumanism, it says in the very article, right? And I can't believe that he didn't notice this, right? As he's talking about humanism, right? As he's talking about humanism, this vision of humanity, right? Okay, Because look, he says above, he says the rise of scientific physicalism might also have contributed to the belief that technology might well improve the human organism, right? So his whole idea, and he's right about that. I think he is right about that, right? I think he's right about the fact that scientific physicalism was one of the great contributors to the rise of the notion that we can use technology to improve humanity, right? Okay, so he thinks that that basically summarizes transhumanism, right? But there's lots of key questions. Okay, like can we improve nature? Okay, now obviously Nick Bostrom is also of the belief that we're living in a simulation. Okay, so nature is basically just like the technology that we can use and create in a way, right? And manipulate basically to our advantage. Okay, so there's a key aspect of that that the technological world that we're building around us is really at the end of the day no different from nature, because nature is kind of very similar to the technologies that we produce, right? So that goes to a key question here, right? Scientific physicalism goes to a key question here that I pose here, right? Is nature against technology, right? Or is nature a creative force that balances the creative aspects of the machine?
I have a question in TMO that's related to that. What's your opinion on vitalism?
I have a good view of it, right? I think that that's probably right, that there's
Basically,
some spirit or life is part of the essence of what's going on around us, right?
no, I think that's true, but but I think vitalism in the deepest level is that life and matter are, ontologically distinct. Like I think La Mitri that he mentioned there, he was actually a materialistic vitalist. Like he still thought like life has some aspect to it that is not basically like the constituents of matter entirely. And so I think he had some panpsychism. So he wasn't like a full-on materialist. So I remember reading about him in panpsychism in the West. He had some kind of
Yeah.
odd views and stuff.
Yeah, because if you have technology and matter, right, then obviously there's two things that are missing, right? If nature is technology, right, what's really missing is nature and mind, right? So you have the machine, you have everything else, right? So and I wonder if down the line in this essay he'll start to talk about the philosophy of mind, or why scientific physicalism basically refutes the notion of transhumanism, right? Because if we're just natural, right, then there's nothing that we could really improve, right, in our design, especially not uploading our minds. Okay, if everything's just physical matter, we're definitely not going to achieve something like that. So
Yeah, the most of the scientific physicalists, they think mind is just the epiphenomenon of the brain activity, but that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. It could be more more uh more fantastic than that. Basically, it could be more ontologically deep or something that are more. It doesn't have to be a mere epiphenomenon. So it could be like a receiver transmitter or any other alternative. Yeah. And these are unfalsifiable. When we deal with questions of ontology of mind, that's unfalsifiable. It's not something science can tell you about consciousness, stuff like that.
yeah. But here, and I think that, so Lemaitre is not really a good place for this, right? Because he's saying in the 1750, this French physician held this view. Well, when was Hobbes writing, dude? Let's check this out. Hobbes. Oh yeah, I typed this in earlier. Whoops, I accidentally typed it in again. But check this out. This is pretty interesting, right? I wanted to know about this. Hobbes on evolution. It says Hobbes did not propose a biological theory of evolution as he predated Darwin, but his philosophy of materialism and human nature aligns with the competitive self-preservationist themes in evolutionary thought. Hobbes argued that humans, driven by fear and desire, operate in perpetual war of all against all, bellum omnium contra omnes, right? I believe in Latin, right? He posited that humanity moved from brutish state of nature to structured society through social contract, and its forced calculated adaptation for survival. And he didn't argue from material souls, right? He argued from, here's what it says, a biological or mechanistic lens, right? Well, he basically compared the body to a machine, right, in his Leviathan. Right, he compared the entire human body to a series of strings and pulleys and he compared it to Newtonian mechanics. Right? So I mean, instead of looking to this guy Lemaitre, who, as we pointed out, he's more of a type of spiritualist, and he may be offering these things as sort of critique, right? But he says here, right, man is but an animal or a collection of springs that wind each other up. Now here's the kicker here, right? The defeater for his entire stupid fucking essay. If human beings are constituted of matter obeying the same laws of physics that operate outside us, then it should in principle be possible to learn to manipulate human nature in the same way we manipulate external objects. That's right. If human beings are nothing more than the same thing as physical matter, then you can treat them as physical matter. But here's the problem. The rise of scientific physicalism might have contributed to the belief that technology might well improve the human organism. Of course it did. It's the main belief that contributed to it. I don't know if he'll admit that one. But yeah, let's go down and read more of his essay now, right? Like we've seen that. And of course we've seen that the Christian Kabbalists, right, they were some of the foremost promoters of humanism. Right? And a lot of people supported the rise of alchemy. I think we've done a more concise analysis of who supported alchemy and all these notions of the Prisca Theologica and all this type of stuff, right? Were actually derived by people like Averroes, right, and other Aristotelian philosophers in the medieval age, right? Averroes basically in his decisive treatise draws an entire distinction between esoteric and exoteric knowledge. And the difference between the two is the application of reason. Right? He says revelation is one thing, reason is another thing. Aquinas comes to the same conclusion. Right? And both of them recommend the study of alchemy. Right? So these things are precursors to the scientific enlightenment, okay, that occurred in medieval times. Right? And two proponents of the Kabbalah, right? Okay, as we mentioned earlier, right, Abraham Abulafia and also Isaac Luria both promoted the work of Maimonides, another Aristotelian philosopher. Right, so what do? They separate matter and form, right? They separate nature and spirit, right? They do all sorts of mental jujitsu in order to separate God from nature, to put nature in the state of becoming, to put man separate from nature. And I'm just telling you what happened, right? Um, obviously, there's other shows in which I say what I think, right? But anyways, we're looking at a history of transhumanism as presented to us by Bostrom, and I'm adding a bit of details that I think that add a little bit of insight as to what he's presenting here, right? Due to my own historical analysis, right? So it says here, the Enlightenment is said to have expired as the victim of its own excesses. It gave way to Romanticism and to latter day reactions against the rule of instrumental reason and the attempt to rationally control nature. Okay. Okay, so this is the huge idea in Romanticism, right? Such as can be found in the postmodernist writings.
Have you heard of Prometheanism, which is the ecological philosophy, because they kind of tie into their belief in instrumental reason, and they just want to view nature as expendable resource, like a standing reserve, the Prometheans and stuff. You know what I'm talking about? It's a word for it. Or if you want, I can show you it. Or you don't know what I'm talking about.
Are you talking about Giorgiani?
No, I'm not talking about Giorgiani. Talking about
Prometheism?
Prometheanism is an environmental term popularized by the political theorist John Drizek to describe a perspective which perceives the Earth as a resource whose utility is determined primarily by human needs and interests, and whose environmental problems are overcome through human innovation. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
yeah, it ties into what you were saying about the rule of instrumental reason and other stuff. I
Oh
would
yeah.
say the corporations work from a Prometheanist philosophy. Like,
Oh yeah. I think like Marx really liked Prometheus and all this type of stuff. But yeah, stealing fire from the guy. I think Kant called Benjamin Franklin the new Prometheus. Can you believe that?
yeah, I can believe it.
Yeah, it's weird
Yeah.
stuff. So
Mm.
so it's like this idea of the Prometheus, right? Because he is a rebel god, right? And also it ties into Lucifer, right? So Prometheus ties into Lucifer a lot, right? Because it's like Lucifer is kind of like rebelling against God, right? And it's all about being equal with God, right? So the idea of Lucifer and Prometheus are kind of linked because Prometheus is stealing fire, right? And then Lucifer is seen as the angel of light, right? So these two things are linked, right? And also there is this idea of Hephaestus, right, or Vulcan, which is like the god of technology. He's also a god of fire, right? So the god of fire is seen as a god of technology, right? Which is interesting, right? But yeah, so anyways, there's plenty of things he didn't really talk about here, right? Including the ancient Greek use of automatons, right? They have tons of things where they have automatons, right? Depictions of automatons in ancient literature, right? Not only in the Bible, but in um sorry, I think it's Hesiod, not Homer, but yeah. But yeah. Okay, let me see if I'm still live. Okay, indeed we are live. Let me actually see a couple of things, and I think we have a caller here in the back, so give me 1 second, homie. Um so yeah, but yeah, if you're joining us now, we're just gonna be reading a little bit of this work here, right? History of transhumanism. And yeah, then I'm gonna hang up the phone. I appreciate you guys, right? Hmm.
I would say too, it's transhumanism. It's what they're looking for. Obviously, they want to put computers in us, but also, what you call the devil or Satan. He is also very well with music. I mean, it gets pretty deep, but yeah,
Music, you think?
everything. Yeah, he was pretty good at music,
Yep.
but
Oh, really? Is that a thing?
yeah, absolutely. He's the man of the music. He had a beautiful
Damn.
voice in heaven before he got casted down. Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
he wanted to be the god, right? Basically, but yeah.
Yeah.
And
Is
I'll
it
try not to
Ezekiel 38 where it talks about describing this being that has like pipes and stuff? I mean, it's probably metaphor for musical
yeah,
instruments, but yeah,
yeah, but why you say metaphor? What if it's real? What if it's really written like that? We don't know. I have no idea either. I'm just saying. A lot of people say metaphors for this and that.
because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
probably more advanced than pipes.
Well, you got to think of
Yeah,
the
that's a
time
good
they were
point.
writing in. You got to think the time they were writing in too, though. It's not
Yeah.
like today. You know what I mean? It's a whole different scene back then.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. So let me
Of
move on to
course.
this text here for a second.
Yes,
It says
sir.
the Enlightenment is said to have expired, right? And then he says here that now he throws in a crazy twist, right? He says that now all of these guys I think are good guys, right? Except for maybe the New Age movement. I'm gonna keep it a buck, right? Because the New Age movement is probably not our friend, right? But yeah, all these other things, right? Um, okay, yeah, actually, also postmodernist writings. Fuck postmodernist writings.
Yep.
Okay, obviously, we're gonna read Herbert Marcuse because he's pretty much somebody who makes a lot of the same points that Uncle Teddy makes. Surprisingly, right? So it doesn't take a really deep analysis of the issues to come to the same conclusions because so many different people came to the same conclusions, right? Whether it's Ellul or Uncle Teddy or Skrbina, they're so ideologically dissimilar from each other, right? Even me and Buddha and Red and we're totally ideologically dissimilar from one another, but we see some parts of this issue, right? So it's pretty weird, right? So it's a huge thing, right? So it says here, okay, so postmodernist writings are trash. The New Age movement is garbage, right? Okay, deep environmentalism is hijacked by leftists, right? Parts of the anti-globalist movement are literally ran by the CIA, like fucking Alex Jones and his gay ass operation, psyop, right? So
Yep.
there's all this, yeah. So you know, so all these things are literally co-opted, right? So don't trust any of these things, right? For real, like this is what he's listed, right? He said that instrumental reason, okay, an attempt to rationally control nature was critiqued by these reactions, right? Postmodern New Age movement, deep environmentalism by parts of the anti-globalist movement. So it looks like he didn't mention any legitimate critiques going back from 400 years, like Rousseau or or you know, or any of the or Samuel Butler, or or Ellul, or any of the, I don't know, it looks like, but yeah. But yeah, it looks like there was only a reaction to it in the 1800s. You gotta love when people say there's only a reaction to these things. Oh yeah, these things just magically blossomed up from 1600 to 1800, and there's never any precursors in history. Yeah, you gotta love when they say that. However, the Enlightenment's legacy, he says, including a belief in the power of human rationality and science, is still an important shaper of modern culture. In the famous 1784 essay, What is Enlightenment? Kant summed it up as follows. Remember, Kant's one of the bad guys, right? Because he's basically promoting world government, right? Okay, and he also, as I mentioned earlier, he called Benjamin Franklin the new Prometheus, right? And I mean, yeah, I understand Benjamin Franklin is one of the founders of this country. I wish it was a different guy for sure. I understand that that's the guy we got, right? And there's positive things to be said about Benjamin Franklin, but the fact is that he was an occultist. He did support Freemasonry, right?
Yep.
And he did promote that. He promoted
So I
that
was
in
just gonna say
letters.
they're all masonry. They're all
Yeah.
masons.
Yeah, and he promoted
That's
technological
what people don't.
progress.
Every president is pretty much a mason, if not skull and bones.
Yeah.
Secret
Yeah, but more
societies.
importantly,
Why do you think JFK got his head blown off?
Yeah, but more importantly, right? This is the main pivotal point. Every
Well, might a little
Freemason
bit too high there.
Here, hold on a
That was
second,
my
bro.
fault.
Here, hold on a second, bro. That's unexcusable. Give me a fucking second. Goddamn, bro. I said it like 3 times. Goddamn. All right, bro. So yeah, all this shit where the main point is this, right? That they supported technological advancement, and look where it's led us. It's led to the enslavement of humanity as a whole, right? So when he's calling him the new Prometheus because he can stole lightning from the heavens, this is literally what he said, right? Right. So this is a huge issue, right? Okay, that we're facing. Okay, is that this view of enlightenment went in the wrong direction. And he's not really pointing that out, right? He's not really pointing out how Kant supported world government. He said, okay, so here, check this out. This is Kant on the Enlightenment. He totally 100% supported the Enlightenment. It says enlightenment is man's leaving his self-caused immaturity. Immaturity is the capacity to use one's own understanding without guidance of another. Such immaturity is self-caused. It is caused not by lack of intelligence, but by lack of determination and courage to use one's intelligence without being guided by another. The motto of the Enlightenment is therefore super old, or some shit like that. I don't know. Have courage to use your own intelligence. So it's promoting individualism, right? So individualism is basically universalism, right? But remember, man has to be made into an individual before he could be collectivized. Right.
Enlightenment seems more about, like, let me ask you a question that's related.
Yeah, but give me 1 second.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. He has to be universalized, right? Before he can be commodified, before he can be turned into this mass man. Right. So that's what I was trying to say. But yeah, go ahead, Buddha.
Yeah, this is related to what you're talking about. This is a question, and I mean, let's say someone writes a poem about a beautiful experience in nature, and as a consequence, they learn something non-conceptual or something greater. But then let's say there's an analytic technician or something that and he's just impartially recording facts and quantification and blah blah blah. He's like all mechanical, right? The modern society, the modern scientific era of technological totalitarianism, they would, on average, say that the so-called technician knows more than the poet. But I don't agree with that. I think the poet knows something far deeper and more significant than the technician.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, like I was saying, man has to be individualized before he can be collectivized. He has to be universalized before he can be massified. Well, I guess we'll call it the massification, right? There's not only the massification of techniques, but the massification of man, right? In terms of the monoculture, right? And here's Nietzsche. Remember, Nietzsche said, first of all, he talks about it in his doctrine of the Übermensch. He says progress has failed. He says there's no such thing as progress. And then he talks about the Übermensch. So look at this snake devil quoting Nietzsche. We just did a whole show on how Nietzsche does not support the notion of progress, right? So yeah, so let's hear Nietzsche, right? I teach you the overman. Man is something that shall be overcome, right? But remember what he says before this, right? What have you done to overcome him? All beings so far have created something beyond themselves. And do you want to be the ebb of this great flood, even go back to the beast rather than overcome man? Okay, so let's go to the Antichrist of Nietzsche, right? See, they cherry pick a lot of shit, right? Give me 1 second. Okay, 4. Mankind surely does not represent an evolution towards a better or stronger or higher level, says Nietzsche, as progress is now understood. This progress is merely a modern idea, which is to say a false idea, he says. The European of today, in his essential worth, falls far below the European of the Renaissance. The process of evolution does not necessarily mean elevation, enhancement, or strengthening. Then he says, true enough, it succeeds in isolated individual cases in various parts of the earth and under the most widely different cultures. And in these cases, a higher type certainly manifests, which is compared to mankind in the mass, appears as a sort of Superman. So look at that. It's not collective humanity that's going to evolve into this fucking Ubermensch. It's individuals.
Exactly, because you have to change yourself. You have to work on yourself. Now, you can't get 10. I mean, I can get 10 people to do things, but are they going to change for themselves? I can get them to do bad things, but can I get them to do good things? It's individually, though, you have to do it on your own. I mean, at the end of the day. But yeah, my bad. I didn't mean to speak over you last time.
It's all
My
good.
bad, bro.
It's all good. It's no worries. Shit. Yeah, it's no worries, bro. Yeah, blessings. No, I just decided, like, if I need to get something out, I'm just gonna like start saying things. But yeah. So it says here, what Nietzsche had in mind, however, was not technological transformation, but a kind of soaring personal growth. Good point. Yeah, it's basically the opposite of what you're saying, right? Is this collective technological transformation of humanity. It's like literally the opposite of what you're saying. It's what Nietzsche was saying. Fucking weird. But yeah. But a kind of
No,
soaring
what? So
personal
you,
growth. Yeah.
oh, sorry.
Yeah, go
So
ahead,
what?
man.
What do you?
Yeah.
Are you saying he wants to get a group of people together? Is what you're saying?
Who? Who's he?
It's you.
No, I don't. I'm not. No, I'm talking about Nietzsche. What this guy's saying about Nietzsche. I'm saying he's wrong about what he's saying about Nietzsche because I read Nietzsche. He's fucking lying.
Okay. All right. My bad.
Yeah, no, it's cool. But yeah, so he says, kind of soaring personal growth and cultural refinement, exceptional individuals, who he thought would have overcome life-sapping slave morality of Christianity. He likes to throw that in there, right? Yeah, but he still thought that the man of the Renaissance was better than the modern man. Dude, how could you have missed that? Bro, like, see, this guy's tripping, right? So it says, despite some surface level similarities with the Nietzschean vision, yeah, surface level similarities, really. Transhumanism with its Enlightenment roots. By the way, what does Peter Thiel say today? That Christianity is literally transhumanism, right? Because you die and become reborn in a new body. He literally, yeah. So he literally thinks that that's so they've so it doesn't so you don't need Nietzschean vision. You just like literally the slave morality and all that stuff, and Nietzsche and all that stuff. Like Nietzsche and Christianity have been combined, bro. Like this guy's like 100 years behind, right? Like, has he not read like Rene Girard or anything like that? Like, this is stupidity, right? This guy's pretends to be educated. Anyways, with its Enlightenment roots, its emphasis on individual liberties, its humanistic concern for the welfare of all humans and other sentient beings. Individual liberties, humanistic concerns. Right. Yeah, it wants to turn humans into stuff, turns nature into things. Probably has much or more in common with Nietzsche's contemporary and English liberal thinker and utilitarian, John Stuart Mill. Yeah, the utilitarians, of course. Utilitarianism is the cause of this nonsense, right? It's one of the huge transformations that rose up in the 1800s to supplement a ideological faction that could totally correspond with the need for productivity, the need for manipulation of the natural environment, the need for competition, the need for control, and the need for complete and total efficiency of means. Right, so that was the cult that they created, was utilitarianism, right? Right, to supplement that rise of all those things, right? So, anyways, speculation, science fiction, 20th century totalitarianism, right? In the 1923, okay, the 1923, all right, the noted British biochemist J.B.S. Haldane, by the way, that guy totally was with all sorts of weird occult ideas, right? Putting chips in humans, right? Published this essay, Daedalus or the Science and the Future, in which he argued that the great benefits would come from controlling our own genetics and from science in general. He predicted a wealthier society with abundant clean energy where genetics would be employed to make people taller, healthier, and smarter, where ectogenesis, gestating fetuses and artificial wombs would be commonplace. He also commented on what has recent years become known as the yuck factor. The yuck factor. All right, so here's our boy Prometheus. Right, aka Lucifer, right? The chemical or physical inventor is always a Prometheus. There's no great invention from fire to flying which has not been hailed as an insult to some god. Weird. So it's like weird sort of Gnostic impulse in there, right? You know, like insult the god, man. You know what I mean?
You should be seeking this knowledge to expose evil. That's something Christians are supposed to do.
We don't seek knowledge. That's Gnosticism.
So apparently every time they invented something, they were insulting God. Isn't that special?
They always copy God, you should say. They copy everything. They take,
right, exactly, bro.
They take everything. The rainbow, you did the swastika. They turned it around. You know how it is, man.
Yeah. Shadow work. Reanimation. They reanimate dead things. Right, like Simon Magus. Right, you can't bring somebody to life. You just reanimate the dead thing, make it look like it's living.
Dude, and that's why I said evil genius, dude. You got to admit, you got to give props to the devil sometimes, man, because it's amazing, even though he's gonna lose. Oh, whatever you want to call it, right? some people don't believe in God. Some people don't believe in the devil, but they believe in bad and good, which is kind of the same. Some people that just don't believe in anything. I call them bubble people. They're like in a bubble of their own. They just, I gotta go to work. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Gotta go home, get gas. Yep. Gotta get food. Boop. That's like they're fucking robots, bro. It's very strange. And
Right.
I try to wait. I try to tell them about things, and people just get really frustrated. Trump lovers, they're all around me. It's amazing. It's just amazing. But you got to learn. What I've learned to do is just shut the fuck up at the end of the day, because sometimes it just causes you problems. They don't like it. They don't want to argue with you, and I just keep it. I keep pressing on them. I'm like, I'm just trying to plant a seed, But sometimes, yeah, it's not that good. So I've learned my lesson. Just, hey, you want to be the way you want to be, that's fine. Just don't push that shit on me. You know what I mean? So I don't push things on people anymore like that. But if it
Yes.
comes up, I will say something. You know what I mean? Other than that, I try not to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So check this out. So in a one sense, he's saying that look, all of this shit, right? All of this technological innovation, right? It's got nothing to do, right? It's got nothing to do with blasphemy against God, right? But in another way, they always promoting Prometheus or Lucifer that's on the cover of the shit, right? Or some Masonic thing, right? And they're always saying, oh, well, this is to bring about the new world or whatever, right? So this has been happening throughout history where in one sense they'll say, oh, this technological progress is actually a rebellion against God. And then they'll turn around and say, no, 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 this is all just secular humanism, right? So they'll literally play both sides of the coin, right? And say, oh, well, all the technology is seen as a rebellion against God. Well, there's nothing really going on there, right?
Right.
And yeah, you'll see that a lot of technological adventures, whether it be Kant or Benjamin Franklin or Isaac Newton, right? Or or what's that guy who's in the OTO? Jack Parsons, right? They'll literally admit that they got their knowledge of their technology or whatever from their occult practices, right? They'll literally tell you that in their journals and in their writings, right? People say, well, there's no link between this technology that's causing people to become, secularized, so on and so forth, and causing, this monoculture to develop and these satanic practices. I'm just pointing. I'm just noticing. It's just weird, but yeah.
Well, there's a lot of things going on that people don't notice. I mean, they put it on Front Street, for God's sakes, and people still can't see it. That's the crazy part. I guess when you have eyes to see and ears to hear, I don't. It's just amazing to me because they come out like I get it. It's cool. Like you're in the military. You lose an arm or a leg. You got robot arms you can put on now. I get that. That's pretty cool, right? I would say that's pretty cool. But all this other stuff that they're trying to do, chips and things, it's coming and it's already here. Like people are already using these things. So,
Yeah,
but
okay. Let's be real.
it's getting scary.
Stuff like robot arms and all the good stuff, it's necessarily linked, interlocked with the system as a whole. So you can't have the arms without the brain chips. You know what I'm saying? That's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. It's better not to have those arms in the first place than to have brain chips or something. Let me tell you this, man. I talked about this a few months ago. I went to this conference with professionals. It was like conference for data science or machine learning, okay, AI, and there were lots of people there. It was a community gathering, stuff like. And I walked up, and after the conference, I told them, don't you think that the way things are advancing, is going towards bio-digital convergence, the loss of human autonomy, and all of that. Okay, the person on the right, he said, "Oh, if your parents or your loved one was dying from, like, I don't know, Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, won't you want to put a chip in them to save them and stuff?" And I didn't tell him my true feelings. I should have told him no. I would rather not do that because dying is natural, and putting a chip inside your loved one, even if it would prevent death, uh, I don't know. I don't think it's worth the risk. The other guy on the left, uh, he uh, he felt a lot of it is exaggerated. We're not going to move in the direction of. But I don't know. I think that guy is wrong, though, in the sense that we're having stuff like organoid intelligence now. It's called organoid. A lot of other stuff, and we're losing more and more autonomy and surveillance. But the other guy thought that those stuff are a worry, but consciousness and mind are not materially reducible. So the guy on the left was better and stuff from my experience. So he didn't think consciousness was just purely material processes. So anyway, yeah, sorry if I went on too long.
No, that's fine. And I do agree with you. Natural is better. But I don't think the commercial that I've seen, I don't know. It could have a chip in the brain. I'm not sure. It just goes on your nub. And I hate to say it that way, but because that's kind of what it is, you know what I mean? And they can pick up things now, and it's just like a battery powered thing. But yeah, I don't.
No,
But I'm
you
with
get
I'm
my
with you
point. Yeah.
guys. No chips. I don't know. I'd rather die than have a computer or anything put in me. I will I will die on my knees, bro. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but my point wasn't that the chip is that we live in a system that's highly interlinked and interdependent. If you want a refrigerator, even if you use one, which is fine, I'm a condition for it too. I became independent on it, which isn't good. The point is you manufacture the parts from here or there. It requires a large scale organization dependent system to create and
Yeah, no,
sustain it.
right. We're all dependent on everything, food, water. I mean, we can go on and how it got that way. What do they put in it? Why is it that way? And why are they doing it? It's because at the end of the day, in my opinion, it's the people that let it happen. People don't want to stand up anymore. People are just scared. It's the fear. Fear conquers everything. And I
Yeah,
and
no
I'd
one
be
is in.
lying. I would be lying if I said I didn't have a little bit of fear. Sometimes that saves my life. But I'm just saying, if we all stand it up, it'd probably be better. But I don't think it's supposed to happen. That's why I always say I think it's meant to happen. What's going on right now is meant to happen. It's almost like prophecy, almost. Because people don't want to stand up. Only individuals will stand up. Only individuals will fix themselves. You know what I'm trying to say? I can get a group of people to do bad, but I can't get a group of people to do good. It's amazing to me how, but that's it is nor there, but you know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah, I
It
know,
is what it
but
is.
I don't agree in the sense that no one is in full control. The system is not that. It's not the system that adapts to our needs, but we are the ones that are pressured to adapt to the
Right.
system. And so we lose our
Yes.
autonomy. And so it's like you can't have the good without the bad when you're in a large scale industrial system. It's just naturally, not naturally, but it's gonna happen because of the nature of the system itself, which has its own directives aimed at maximizing efficiency and more standardization, more and more massification, which is treating people like interchangeable units, and more. It just and then it creates the very complications it claims it can solve. So you can't
Right.
have the good without having the
Without the
bad.
bad.
Yeah,
Exactly. You
the
can't
more
have
complex
fucking
it gets.
jelly without the peanut butter. Or I guess you could, but you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I agree with you.
I think the best solution ultimately, like I've said, is scaling back the technological complexity. That's the best solution.
All right. Yeah, so that's all we have for today. Blessings to the people that are here. We will be back tomorrow with a much longer stream. Um, and I greatly appreciate people's time here. Oh, hold on, I'm trying to customize this stream to send it to somebody. Although I don't know if people will stay past my music. So that's how people do. But yeah, I appreciate you guys anyways.
Gotta love the music. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Thank you, Wolfie. I appreciate you. And yeah, do you guys have any closers to to say to the people? And obviously we'll give a much more lengthy explanation tomorrow about the various things we laid down in the intro, and also with the history of transhumanism. We'll look at lots of critiques, right? Not just a pro writing, right? So yeah.
I just want to say thanks for having me on TML. I appreciate it.
Yeah, blessings, brother. Yeah, thank you so much for being here and contributing to the show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your presence. Thank you. My final remark is that there's a lot I want to read. I actually have one of Nick Brostrom's books, even though I don't like it. It's good to read books, even if you disagree. I have his book on super intelligence. I didn't start it though. Have you heard of that book?
No. Yeah, it's cool though. Yeah, maybe we can investigate from that book if there's anything cool in there, and bring it up tomorrow if you like. But yeah, that seems interesting. Yeah.
An old Chinese said he had heard that when empires were doomed, they had many laws. It's Nietzsche.
Yeah. It's like that's exactly what it says in the Tao, right? The more laws and prohibitions there are, the more thieves there are.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for joining us here on The Machine Lies. We talk about the lies of the machine on the machine that lies. And the first step to blinding somebody is getting them to open their eyes. And the first step to seeing beyond the programming is to realize how you've been programmed. Right. So I appreciate you guys, right? You can't kill what you can't see, and what most people think is real is just flickering shadows on a screen, images of things that are not real. And that's all we have today. We'll join you guys tomorrow on the show, and we'll come up with whatever we can in terms of, well, obviously I have lots of sources that we're looking through. Right, and Saturday we'll expand to looking at ancient philosophy, right? So yeah, so blessings to the people.
I am on fire, I'm standing in water with live wire. I shouldn't be alive, I wasn't alive prior. My gun had live rounds, it hadn't died either. It's on a strict diet that's high in iron and fiber. I'm not love worthy, I'm fine in isolation. My murders and crimes are just fines and violations. I like being the brains behind the operation, but I'm bloodthirsty, I might die of dehydration. But I don't like charity, I'll recoup and recover. I live life vicariously through others. I'm living off the blood that I take from my true customers. If someone ain't pulling their weight, the group suffers. My gun's sensitive to the slightest of vibration. I gotta be patient and wait for the right occasion. I need enough strength to control my night cravings. I need a blood bank that can hold my life savings.
You have a good soul, and I hate giving good people bad news. Don't worry about it. As soon as you step outside that door, you'll start feeling better. You'll remember you don't believe in any of this fake crap. You're in control of your own life.
I lived underneath of hell. I couldn't eat, couldn't leave the cell. I couldn't see, I learned to read from a speaking spell. It was everything I needed, I was treated well. Just another day at the office, I was Steve Carell. I couldn't sleep, I'd stand the entire task. A would-be king, the man in the iron mask.
I was trapped, my capturer had the higher grasp. Till I snapped the bars and shattered the fiberglass. It was enemy territory, foreign sand. It wasn't heaven or hell, it was borderland. My birth parents must have had a more important plan. They left me on the porch, knocked on the door and ran. In the wrong hands, abandoned with calamity. I ain't have a chance or a family. I ain't have a plan B or sanity. I ain't have fantasies and canopies. Life is no guarantees or answer keys.
Immaculate deception. You got poverty, religion, racism, politics, and economics that keep the preoccupied mind spinning. Oblivion, evangelical righteous nation building by eugenic DNA, epic weapon sequence to the DOD operation Dark Winter. Unknowingly investing trillion in most subtle forms of murder. New American century, lunatic, neocon, lounge, poolside for Olive Mark City at the Plaza Bilderberger. Sitting next to nanotechnology, the Damon over inside the nuclear winter. With reptiles and bikinis that don't walk on by, they slimmer. You better zip up the Dalai Lama North Face, put on an Elmo mittens. Pay close attention, there's no difference between Bush and Clinton. Check the arrogant cowboy Texas demeanor. White House was straight stonewall, fuck a congressional subpoena. We will bitch smack the media. Lord Ching, pull over Dark Warrior. With CIA orcs brought down the two towers. Who up on COG shadow government at Raven Rock, where the only legislative branch running is executive power.
Connection listeners, we're talking about continuity of government. We're talking about the shadow government, which is up and running in a bunker.
Our in-depth look at Washington's secret shadow government. Bush has activated for the first time long-standing plans to ensure survival of federal rule.
Continuity of government and the notion that we have a shadow government.
We're talking about the shadow government, which is up and running. We're talking about COG, as they call it in Washington.
We still don't know very much about who's in the shadow government and what they're doing. I think that the Bush administration is going to have to eventually give us a lot of information to clear the air here. And the notion that we have a shadow government, that there's some urgency about having a shadow government.
It's actually a shadow government operating right now.
Is finished, master. Is my music really on some apocalyptic, dark and gloomy shit? Or my part of some now freedom music? Your perception to this rhyme reflecting your influence. The most dangerous person in the world is someone who don't do shit. You think I'm fearless, confused, or just blind? Or to safely actually continue to perpetuate itself in the mind? I hopeless victim of revolutionary soldier youth.
They got AIDS affecting the globe, laser weapons and claws, conquerors, presidents, death artificial intelligence, frozen organs, post-mortem, alien Malachi York, and 5% is 12 crimes forever. Get your mind together, who decides truth? Guys and ties and suits, violent coops, private schools. He got rules of taught, dues of board, use of thoughts like swords. Hate for groceries, the DNA closing your vocal cords. The order of the world's already been bought. Robocops programmed to kill, ready for war. Drink your cocaine, cause drugs is legal. Androids rule the streets of New York, screaming, fuck the people. Even a priest can fall in love with evil. If the bitch that's sucking his dick is swallow nothing, don't perceive him. Election day, young Americans will vote for demons. Overachieving, don't sniff blow or blow up priests. Welcome to Futurama, where the cyborgs shoot your mama. A cross between Terminator 3 and 2 in common. This is Ill Bill, reporting for a new assignment. Ready to rock with the Ruger 9-shiner. This is Futurama, where the cyborgs shoot your mama. A cross between Terminator 3 and 2 in common. This is Ill Bill, reporting for a new assignment. Ready to rock with the Ruger 9-shiner. The noose is tight, news is sightings, the truth's frightening. Combine the studies of 51 produced by the Titans. Follow the sergeant, the one handling largest events. Made the top of department, firebombing projects intent. Video farewells, off to majesty, it's off the salary. I never hold a grudge, taking judges to Applebee's. My team's fast, the IRS be thugging with masks. On the run for war game bugs and funneling cash. I'll rob anyone, a lawyer with a gun in his stash. Beneath the remains of human ash, the gun in the bag. Gangsta, cherry ketamine, the medicine, Pirelli spin, the new water. Peeking through television like Benny Hill. We rock blades and pop collars like hockey made. Pac was framed, they cloned them in the spot near the caves. To vegetate, claiming credit to detonate human bombs, nuclear nuclear arms, supermarket cancer and farms. Welcome to Futurama, where the cyborgs shoot your mama. A cross between Terminator 3 and Tutankhamun. This is Gore-Tex reporting for a new assignment. Ready to rock with the Ruger 9 shining. This is Futurama, where the cyborgs shoot your mama. A cross between Terminator 3 and Tutankhamun. This is Gore-Tex reporting for a new assignment. Ready to rock with the Ruger 9 shining. At the Fight Club, fists, knives, and guns. Tribes of Chud, cannibalistic, humanoid, underground drugs, rain of blood. Started like Slayer did in 86. Communicate with aliens, there he is. I made Run DMC sell me the devil's soul. Make your head explode with implantable chips by remote control. I told you all what to expect. Fuck, love, and respect. When you're on your knees with the gun to your head. See Masonic temples, lies truth. Gods that were signs proof. Nickel-plated 9-shoot, crimes loot. I recruit the true mystics. I turn goons futuristic. We too sadistic. Coming at you with 2 biscuits. This is Futurama, where the cyborgs and shoot your mama. A cross between Terminator 3 and Tutankhamun. This is Ill Bill reporting for a new assignment. Ready to rock with the Ruger 9 shining. This is Futurama, where the cyborgs and shoot your mama. A cross between Terminator 3 and Tutankhamun. This is Ill Bill reporting for